a nonpartisan group called the California Voter Foundation.
You could say California voters are the most powerful voters in the world. They elect officials who govern a state of nearly 40 million people and the world's fifth largest economy. They vote on proposed laws that make a deep impact in California and beyond. But all this democracy requires that voters are informed and believe their votes are accurately counted. That's why in 1994, Kim Alexander started the California Voter Foundation to help Californians make informed choices and vote with confidence.
Kim is the energy behind the California Voter Foundation online voter guide.
I had recently left my job with California Common Cause and was offered to take over the California Voter Foundation by the Secretary of State's office.
People who want to make informed choices, they're busy, they don't have time to track down the information they need, and we're providing a way for them to do it.
Here in California, we have so many decisions to make on our ballot.
I have a lot of confidence in California voters.
A lot of voters want more information, and they won't settle for just these TV spots and these hit pieces that they get in the mailbox.
From innovating the internet as a tool for online voter education, to advancing digital sunlight, to requiring that voting systems rely on voter-verified paper ballots, CVF has been at the forefront of the internet revolution, at the place where democracy and technology intersect.
California Voter Foundation is working to advance the responsible use of technology to improve the voting process. Did I get that right, Kim Alexander?
That's right, you did.
Is that pretty much what you're trying to do?
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
People look at California as a political trendsetter and also as a technological trendsetter. The web's time has come, and that we're finally entering a time in California politics, at least, where the web has become an essential tool for political campaigning.
All of this points to a trend that allows voters to make more informed decisions than ever before.
In '96, we saw an explosion. Our California Online Voter Guide that year in the general election linked to over 140 campaign websites.
You do really help guide voters to resources that can really help them make informed decisions.
Your voter information problems may now be solved. It may all be on your computer with the help of a modem and the internet.
CVF's first project was the California Online Voter Guide, published in 1994 as a Gopher site. That project was followed by the San Francisco Online Voter Guide in 1995, demonstrating how electronically filed campaign finance reports could be made available immediately to the public online. CVF and others worked for several years to change California law to mandate electronic filing and online disclosure.
An overwhelming number of voters and members of the legislature want more sunlight.
People should have the right to know of who is supporting a candidate.
Kim and everybody, we'd all work together. We had everybody sitting around a table, and we worked very diligently for a year.
It's not entirely up to the legislature to decide whether this information is going to be made available on the internet.
I think most people who are involved in politics in California realize that this is inevitable.
Hard work paid off in 1997 when a bill modernizing campaign disclosure was signed into law.
Before, if I wanted to know who was contributing to a candidate or ballot measure, I'd have to come down here to the Secretary of State's office in Sacramento, make a specific file request, and pay 10 cents for each Xeroxed page.
Thanks to our new online disclosure laws in California, anyone who makes a donation of $1,000 or more during the last 2 weeks of the election has to file their reports on the internet, and they're available within 24 hours.
Next year, under state law, all campaign contributions will have to be posted.
We believe that disclosure and sunshine, if you will, is the best antiseptic for politics.
People will be able to make more informed choices, and they'll be able to hold their politicians accountable.
The California Voter Foundation has been helping voters follow the money ever since.
We've had disclosure laws in this country that require public disclosure of money in politics, but up until the advent of the internet, that was really disclosure in name only. There's no better way for voters to make informed choices than to see who's funding.
As you pay attention to those 30-second messages, think about why they're paying to get your attention.
California Voter Foundation's list of top 10 campaign donations shows you just how much some of those last-minute contributors have already given.
This is the one piece of information that voters want more than anything else.
CVF took the Digital Sunlight campaign nationwide, assessing all 50 states' disclosure performance. Between 2003 and 2008, 36 states' disclosure grades improved. CVF's next big digital democracy challenge came after the 2000 presidential election, when hanging chads and voting technology were on everyone's minds. Like many states, California rushed to embrace touchscreen voting, while CVF and others began raising questions about election verification and the need for voter-verified paper audit trails and post-election audits.
I think it's a very scary situation.
Well, you need a way of tracing whether the vote was ever recorded.
I was looking for my candidate, and it never came out.
I'm not at all confident that voters are confident that these machines are going to work in a way that will store their ballots properly.
Instead of focusing on trying to make the machines more bulletproof, let's just have a backup mechanism where voters can check that their votes were properly recorded.
Are there any electronic voting systems out there that are secure?
It's hard to tell. I mean, again, the code is proprietary, it's secret, so until someone can actually examine all the code, there's no way to know.
I really protest the idea that every technology rolls out has glitches all the time. That's true for mass-marketed consumer technology, but when you and I started using ATMs, they didn't glitch, they didn't fail.
In my judgment, their vulnerabilities are extremely severe.
The 2003 recall election brought California's questionable voting equipment to the nation's attention.
So it's not going to be pregnant chads, it's going to be touchscreens with no paper ballot as a result.
I'd much rather have the hanging chad than have a non-transparent voting system.
Unless Congress deals with this nationally by requiring a voter-verified paper record of each vote, each time a voter votes, we will have questions every time there's an election.
I can't think of anything more important for our election departments to do than protect our paper ballots. So what my group, the California Voter Foundation, and others are calling for is a voter-verified paper trail to back up those digital ballots.
It does look like we're getting closer and closer to that. The Secretary of State of California basically mandated that all systems in California would have to produce a voter-verified paper trail. Shortly after he announced that, several other states have followed suit. There are now 6 states that are demanding this.
There will be a paper trail for every single vote cast in the state of California.
Just take a look at this scene from California in March, where frustrated poll workers actually begin slapping a computer to make it work.
On the top. Okay, all the lights.
California's fledgling move toward electronic voting is too risky, according to 2 key state senators who say last week's state primary was plagued with an unacceptable number of glitches.
March 2nd was the test flight for the widespread use of these touchscreen voting machines in the state. And I think it's fair to say from the evidence so far, the test flight crashed and burned.
The 2004 primary's widespread voting problems led lawmakers to require voter-verified paper ballots, and California secretaries of state have further increased security through rigorous testing. CVF led the movement to require a voter-verified paper ballot in California first, and then beyond, helping to form the Election Verification Network, a collaboration of computer scientists, election officials, voting activists, and others working to secure the vote. As the 2016 election showed, voting systems are still vulnerable to attack. CVF continues working to secure the voting process, urging lawmakers to fund security upgrades.
The defense of our democracy is a matter of national security and national concern.
The burden on the county elections officers is just enormous.
Those paper ballots help defend us from electronic hacking. The system does need to be updated.
They use a lot of technology. There's software, there's hardware. Counties have a hard time getting the parts they need. When they do have breakdowns, they have to sometimes go on eBay or Craigslist to find replacement parts. When they say the Russians are going to come back, I don't think they're kidding about that.
California is earmarking $134 million this year to pay for new voting equipment. It will include new software and hardware.
The threat is real, and that there are people out there trying to penetrate our voting process. And so, in light of that, we do need to have more security.
Helping voters prepare to vote with confidence and improving the vote-by-mail process and voting experience are long-standing CVF priorities.
Where do you want to start?
Well, polls are open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Because vote-by-mail ballots have to be taken out of an envelope and checked for a signature, they take longer to process and count.
Elections officials are finding more vote-by-mail voters making mistakes. Some 1,400 ballots in Sacramento County alone arrived too late to be counted.
Since 2014, CVF has worked to reduce the number of vote-by-mail ballots that are rejected due to voter signature problems and late arrival.
Sacramento's voter registrar looks through some 1,200 ballot envelopes that won't ever be opened, won't ever be counted.
The only thing worse than people not voting is people who try to vote and then aren't able to.
A California Voter Foundation study shows that each county verifies signatures differently.
an opening for campaigns looking for an edge.
We have to make sure that the procedures that are followed across the state are more standardized.
Through it all, CVF has continuously operated Calvoter.org, its nonpartisan website launched in 1996, logging an average of 1 million visits and over 4 million page views each year.
Check it out. Here's where you point your clicker. It is www.calvoter.org.
What do you try to do with your nonprofit, nonpartisan group as far as guiding voters when it comes to things like mailers? What do you tell them?
Well, first of all, we publish a nonpartisan guide on the internet on our website at Calvoter.org, which is a nice reprieve for voters who want to go somewhere where they can trust the information that they're receiving.
One way CVF educates voters is through its Proposition Song, which started in 2000. With the help of many musical friends, CVF has made a number of proposition songs, encouraging voters to sing along.
A nonpartisan group called the California Voter Foundation has come up with a song to help people sift through the dizzying array of options.
It's a proposition song, let's all be singing along, because the ballot is too darn long. If you want more information, just log yourself online. There's a whole lot more.
Calvoter.org.
We're open all the time.
CVF's 25 years of achievements were made possible through partnerships, generous donations from foundations and individuals, and dedicated, effective staff and board members and volunteers. CVF also works with and applauds the numerous journalists and news organizations that shine a light on needed reforms and advance government accountability. A lot has changed in the last 25 years and will continue to change over the next 25. One thing has remained constant: the California Voter Foundation's commitment to serving voters and shaping an informed electorate and voting process that people can trust.